All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Paddo. With me on the mic again is going to be Kuniv, and we're going to be bringing you some AHGL action between Amazon, which is going to be our blue team, and Geek Squad, which is going to be the red team up here. How you doing tonight, Kuniv?
I'm doing really good. I'm ready to cast this match. And it's already looking like we got some good picks. Pretty standard stuff as well. I'm liking that Amumu slipped through, though, because it's not every day you get to see him.
Oh, I'm gonna give these guys I'm gonna pause for commercial break and give them the stream link because apparently they don't know.
Okay.
Why did I make this stream link so long? All right. In my younger years, when I was a noob, but we rolled with it. We're rolling with it. That's what we're doing with this cast right now. So, anyways, one little thing that was funny is I was talking to Always Goofing Off at work. And he was like, all right, Paddo, don't give this away, but I'm gonna be unveiling my new jungler. I've been working on him real hard. This is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be bringing out Hecarim. I was like, all right, man, I won't give it away. Like, it'll make it through. It'll be awesome. And then, sure enough, second ban from Geek Squad, Hecarim. And I could just hear the anguish through the internet coming from him. But you know what he did say is like, he's like, or if Amumu makes it through. So Amumu made it through, and luckily enough, Always Goofing Off is gonna be on that Amumu. And looking at these teams, it should be pretty good. I know that Geek Squad does have a really solid Garen. He pretty much, I think the last game I casted with him against the Nerdery, I believe it was, he ran away like a freight train. He was like 7-0 and 8 or some craziness, was all up in their jungle everywhere and just silencing and then dunking people. So should be interesting to see N-Ward today. But I think one of the main big supports that's coming in here is going to be this Thresh. Because I actually just got done casting a game yesterday where Thresh literally carried the game for his team on support. Like, his hooks were on the money. Like, have you been playing a little bit of Thresh or seen him in the wilds?
I've been getting hooked by Thresh every game, and there's something about him that just feels a lot, like it does more damage than Blitzcrank personally, just because he pulls you in. It's like a pull, but you're stuck in place for much longer.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking him on support right now. Him and Tarek are just ruling solo queue right now. That's what I've been noticing. So he's definitely scary.
Yeah, I feel like Thresh is like the good kind of like there's some skill to him. There's a lot of like team cool stuff you can do with Lantern, but Tarek is like the old school Annie that's just like, all right, I have a dazzle and it's pretty simple what I need to do here, and just go in there and be effective and win a lane. So that's kind of, I think, why he's had so much effect and why Elements plays him all the time.
He's really strong.
Yeah.
A lot of times I'll see people hook with him, and then as soon as they press it again, they're just like a paper bag flying through the air. It's not really too much. Until I get 6, that is, but definitely strong.
Well, one of the coolest things about this the comp that we have here, at least for Amazon, is that Thresh is going to be able to possibly initiate and be able to like slingshot a Mumu into the enemy team, which could be pretty devastating. And of course they do have Curse of the Sad Bullet Time. They also have Orianna in there, so this AoE action is going to be really strong. The only person that's really not dealing out massive AoE damage is this Aurelia, but if Aurelia gets fed up enough, she's just going to be that perfect person to dive into the backlines and go after this Ezreal and try to drag him down. But on the other side, Geek Squad has, they have some pretty good defense in Maokai, and they have Orianna as well, who's going to be a little bit aggressive for the bottom lane, but does have a lot of good CC to peel people off. And then they have their own little cruise missile of destiny a la Aurelia in this Garen here. But they also have Ryze, and Ryze is actually a really big factor because he's super tanky and can pretty much put a game on his back if you can get him fed enough.
Definitely. I'm leaning towards the AoE team. I usually do, just because it's too hard to mess up. Any team with a Mumu is going to be strong, but I do like that they have Ryze, because that's definitely a big late game pick, and they can be pretty kitey. They've got some counter initiations. Leona's definitely going to be able to stall, and Ezreal's, always slippery. Not going with Cleanse though. He's picking Ignite, so I would have gone with Cleanse myself, just because looking at that Amumu and Orianna would be pretty scary. On the other side, you were talking about how they were all AoE damage, and Aurelia didn't really have it. But I actually think Aurelia is a great pick because she's got the resets, and after everyone gets them low, she's going to be able to just Q and Q and Q and Blade Surge through the whole team. And with that true damage, she's just going to destroy everything if she gets fed. So I have to see how Garen does top.
Yeah, we will have to see how he does top. And like I said, he had a really solid outing last time, so I expect pretty good things from N-Word. We'll see how Gurg. I don't know how to say that. Gurgle. Gurgle.
Let me look.
Let's call him the Gurg. Let's call him the Gurg. GERGLVT. Maybe someone in chat knows. They can.
I'm okay with that.
Spell it out for me. Teach me how to do it.
I think any Gur sound's gonna be good. Good
Gurg.
enough.
We'll call him the Gurg. He's the Gurg now.
The Gurgster.
Yeah, the Gurg is on Aurelia. We'll see how he's able to take this one down. So yeah, I'm actually a little bit of a Homer fan, at least for this Amazon team, because I do currently work for Amazon. So slightly rooting for them. Although this Geek Squad team did win my heart last time I actually was able to cast them. And I do know that Jay Show, their captain, is actually a really cool guy. So I have a lot of love for both teams. I'm torn. My emotions.
You don't have to lie. Amazon, I feel like you might have a little bit of conflict of interest. If there's some sort of rule on casting towards your favorite team. Maybe not.
Well, you don't want to be completely biased, and so I'll root for them in my heart at least, whether they win or lose, and we'll see how it goes. But I'll be happy for both teams, and we have that awesome Garen skin. I love that Garen skin because it's much like the Infernal Alistar skin, where it's just like you see that skin, you're like, can I kill that? Like, is that like he just got like 10 times more badass, which I didn't even know was possible.
I think he looks really dumb. He's this big bionic guy. It's not like Garen at all.
He looks like the little kid that like built a robot suit out of cardboard and is like trying to like be cool and run at you.
He has no soul. I feel like he's like Nunubot. The Mashy.
Nice little spot out there.
Anyway, it looks like they're both going to opposite sides right now. Oriana might give this. Oh, she already did actually, but he's still standing there.
That's quite the spread, I must say, by Geek Squad
right
there.
in his nose.
Yeah.
Is he gonna fall for the bait? Doesn't look like too much is gonna happen right here. They got a ward down at their blue side's red right now. It's probably just gonna be a normal start.
Yeah, and that's just good. That's good fundamentals because I think a lot of teams don't ward up their own buffs when they try to go to one side a lot of times. And sometimes those wards, like especially even in solo queue, a lot of times I'll just throw a ward down there and then it'll catch some jungler trying to be cheeky, and you see the invade. And since they are deciding to go red, that's tipping it off. They see them go in there, they're pinging, they think they're doing it, and so we see them coming back here again, trying to play a little bit of mind games here.
Yeah, I think this is really smart. That's what I personally like to do as a jungler. If I ever go for blue, that is, and I push them out, I always ward it, because it's not worth getting counter-engaged on after blue spawns. But warding that can really help, and it'll keep track of the jungler, because they almost never gank before they get the red, so they'll know exactly where Maokai is, and that's going to keep top safe, at least for the meantime.
Yeah, it's a good call, and actually with that ward too, that nice little invade too, they got him thinking, so he doesn't quite know if he has his red buff, but they will know whether he goes either way with those wards. So really like that early warding coming from Amazon. It looks like Maokai is going to be able to take this smiteless, so it gets a hard enough leash, and looks like he's heading over towards that red buff. So we're going to see some action early. We're going to see how well Amazon does with this collapse here, and we actually see Ezreal and Leona backing him up on his way through here. There's no ward in this tri-brush, and they have to know something is up since they're missing for quite a while now at this point. Some spidey sense in their head has to be going, hey, you know what, like, something is up, and now they are going to see it, and they're going to come in. They're going to see them coming in from the bottom lane. It's going to be a 4v4 after this is all mixed up, but Oriana's going to be in there first. Smite goes down. They do take the red, but will the focus go down if they can find out? Oh, looks like first blood might go, but a brilliant flash from Kid Shy is going to go over there. But oh no, Maokai walked around into 3, and now he should be able to get out of this. Nice flash, nicely done there. And he's going to actually be able to escape with that red buff.
Yeah, great play by these guys. That was the best way they could have escaped. And by him, his teammates meeting him on Dragon for purple side, they weren't able to flash over, or they would have been stranded. So that was great team play.
Yes, very nicely done. Now they did blow a lot of flashes there, so they do know that Ezreal and Leona are both going to be kind of open, possibly. I guess they might not know that this that tri-brush ward is down there, but if they do possibly call in some gank, it should be pretty effective because they won't have that extra flash in there. Meanwhile, Amazon keeping all their summoners still up, and Ezreal getting a little harassed by that hook, was able to dodge it out there. Now that he has his backup, should be a little bit safer in the spot lane, but they are getting a good push on here. And as I look down here, it looks like Miss Fortune has at least 8 CS, so she's actually been CSing so far, while Ezreal's been having to run around and just soak up XP until Leona came back.
Yeah, it looks like top just pushed out pretty hard, so he's got that. He doesn't have that warded, so Mumu might be able to catch a gank on him. And that's the last thing they want to happen top. I think Garen has to win that definitely in the first 6 levels, or Aurelia's going to start catching up, and he's not going to. Garen's not going to be able to snowball that.
Yeah, and here comes this gank, and Aurelia's gotten low enough now that Equilibrium Strike will stun. Coming on to, oh, and a flash just after that bandage toss. If you just, bandage toss is one of those situations where if you know the flash is up, you almost have to just kind of like stay on them, walk at him, and then wait for him to blow it before you throw it out there, because otherwise it can be dodged like that. But it is to the point too where you could actually just rinse repeat, and it looks like he's actually not going to stay up there. Probably would have liked to see that. And it looks like the Gurg going to need to get a little bit of extra health in here to survive. He's barely going to live.
That lifesteal was key. That auto attack he risked taking saved his life.
Bandage toss is going to be good right here with Orianna in the mid. Flash popped again. So many flashes blown right now. It's almost the fact that I think always goofing off. It's just one thing I'd like to see from him too is like once you blow that, and especially in Garen's case, since the wave was so pushed up, he's just going to still be aggressive. He didn't have it warded because he didn't react to you. I would have liked him to just stay up there. And keep it up, but blowing another flash in mid is also a good move. And now we see him come down here. He's actually going to clash with this Maokai. We'll see how this actually works out as they close in here. Lantern going down as well from Thresh, and Maokai getting the better of this initial trade. Leona misses her Zenith Blade.
Right there. It just shows the power of that Thresh Lantern. It's the best escape in the game right now.
Oh yeah, it's actually completely good. And actually one of the things I actually heard talked about a little bit recently when I was hearing people talk about Thresh is actually that you can lantern block as the enemy team, so you can actually stand on top of the lantern and they can't click on it because they'll click on you and auto attack, which I didn't actually think about. But a nice hook coming in here, and Kitschai very, very low yet again, doesn't have that flash, and first blood is going to go to Pelennor, and now they're putting some more pressure on Nurima, and Nurima's going to actually have to arcane shift over this wall if he wants to live, but he doesn't have a lot of mana. But that's just going to give more free farm now to Amazon, that bot lane.
Good play.
Yeah, very good play. And as we see here in the mid lane, Pat's actually decided that what he's going to do here is Patton's going to basically just keep pushing up on this Ryze, which he should do. I mean, this is how you deal with Ryze, at least in the early phases. If you can push on him, he has a hard time pushing back. Doesn't have a lot of push power. And you can get a lot of decent poke on there. He's been using his flask actually to keep a lot of the mana so he can actually sustain that pressure. And now we're finally going to see him go back and see what he buys up here to continue the full court press basically on him. We'll see Ryze actually going to back off as well. But no, actually, we're going to see Orianna actually stick around. I guess this J-Show is actually going to try to farm up a little bit here, maybe get a little bit of experience and make sure this wave doesn't push in and Ryze doesn't miss too much XP.
Meanwhile, the top lane, Garen is spinning to win still.
Yeah.
He's hit level 6 and he hasn't gotten a kill yet, so I think it's going to start turning towards Aurelia. The only reason I'd ever play Garen is to win that early game, because he's definitely not going to do that much damage unless he gets kills. So.
Yeah, we'll see actually what does happen here, because Aurelia is one of those champions too that, like you said, has a little bit of a slow start, and if you can win it against her early, then you might have a chance of keeping her down, but she is one of those champions that has comeback potential, especially once you start seeing levels like this now. We do see the Gurg is actually hurting a little bit for mana right now, but he should be fine for at least the time being. And there's still no warding up there, so Always Goofing Off is going to be able to come up there and get a gank, and he's only level 5, not level 6 yet. They did transfer over blue, and now it looks like Gunga is going to be actually working on that. And here we go, Garen in here again. Doesn't have his flash up yet again, so he could be able to, but actually throws it backwards apparently.
Well, that is the other benefit of Garen, is he's just so fast, and when people gank him, he can just run out of the gank. He doesn't even necessarily need to use flash. So, benefit of having him is, I guess you save some ward money.
Yeah, Aurelia really has to get the stun on Equilibrium Strike to get him, because he can actually just cancel out the slow, if that's all they're relying on. Ooh, and another steal on red. Pressure coming in here. Lantern's going to pop over and see this, and he's actually going to hook out the red, and it's actually going to go onto Thresh. Nice move right there. And now Orianna actually has a possible move, and that bandage shot just barely misses. And they're going to get the slow off. The ult coming in here. Amumu still not level 6 yet, otherwise they would have been able to seal that up. Ryze covering J-Show's retreat. Ignite going to wear off, and he should be fine at this point.
Yeah, I want to go back and talk about that Thresh play. I'm not sure if he was aiming for red, but hitting that was so important because he pulled it out of the Fog of War. And to get that red buff, they would have to put themselves in an even worse position. With Mumu circling in like a shark, that was just really great. He picked himself up a red. And with that ranged attack, I don't think it could have been on a better person right now. Let MF last hit, and he could just harass all day. And if he's spec'd into it, he'll be picking up gold every time he does it.
Yeah, I mean, actually, nice play there by Valse. Able to get that one off. And we see a lot of warding actually coming in from Amazon now to cover that top river. Bottom river also getting a pink ward here. So overall, just nice warding coming in for them. Geek Squad very ward light at this point. I don't even think they have a ward on the map, but hopefully they'll be coming back out there. They actually have some wards banked up now as we return to lane, and we will see Garen actually warding up finally in that top lane to make sure he doesn't get picked off again.
Down at bot, while we were talking about top, Thresh just pulled in Leona and ulted, and he forced her to flash, so that's also down right now. And they might be able to get a kill down here with the Mumu.
Another nice flash coming in there, and then we see Leona actually 6 now, so it does have her ult up now, so they do have a pretty good combo there and some good defense too, so it's going to be a little bit hard to get complete pressure on there. Pulling in Leona might be a catalyst for her to actually go in here, but we'll see how that actually works out. We see Misfortune actually soloing the double golems in bottom right now. Almost has a 20 CS lead, actually started with Brutalizer, so it looks like he's actually going to be going BF Sword first, which... from what? Oh, a nice banish toss over the wall, combining all the alts. Could have waited to stack those a little bit, but the flash is going to be burned by Paddo. He's going to be able to seal the kill on that one. Again, if they waited a little bit on those, I think wouldn't even had to burn the flash.
That's true. Looks like they're going to pick up another one here as well. Okay, I find himself in a bad position where it was warded, and not enough mana quite from Mumu.
Yeah. Literally a sad Mumu right there. Not able to seal up that kill. And Garrett's becoming kind of a beast. I don't know if Aurelia is actually going to be able to quite be able to take him out at all. He's kind of becoming unmovable up there. So they might just see the farm fest go on, because item-wise, she's pretty far behind. Like, Garen's actually farmed up 30 more CS than her and has that BF sword and a chain vest. So he's looking pretty good up there right now.
The problem right now is to harass her. He's having to shove the lane. And Aurelia... last hits on the tower better than anyone else top lane. So
oh, nice hook caught in there into the bullet time, barely at the edge. Arcane shifts at the last second to get out of it. These Thresh hooks have been on point, and Garen's going to get in a fight again. Gerg has to be very, very careful how he executes this. Doesn't want to get turned on here. See, always giving up. Still kind of really doesn't have mana. Oh, wow, they're just going to stand in this. Needs to be careful they don't get picked off. Maokai coming in here, and that Twist Advance is going to seal up that kill there. But, oh, the flash! The flash! Thwarted. Nicely done.
Great flash, but you got to hand it to this Garen because he is playing top lane just how he needs to. He's pressuring, he's pushing it, and he's forcing a Mumu to gank top, and it's really giving his bot lane a chance to catch back up. Because if Mumu has to gank that Garen all day, who's just spinning all over his face, and bot lane definitely has a chance at this.
Yeah, actually, I think that's a really good call out, because right now, again, N-Ward kind of one of those top players. And Rise coming in here, wants a kill, wants to get the reset, sucked into the turret. One last hit from Rise is going to be able to get that kill. I think she probably, just kind of stood there and sort of tried to fight it out and pull him into the turret, but I think really just needed to run for her life at that point. Once Rise was that healthy, engaging on her. But it looks like Garen's going to be able to take this top turret early. And what I've seen from N-Ward is, like, this is his game that he likes to play. He loves to be dominant in this top lane. And they haven't been able to get him off it, even after, 3 trips up top by a Mumu at this point. So this is actually going pretty, not too bad for Geek Squad. Because if you look at them, they're actually ahead in gold at this point. And really only behind 1 kill.
Yeah, once again, I think it's going to come down to team fights and who's going to pull out these early dragons. Always seems to be an important factor. And it looks like Purple Side's also been moving on the buffs a lot more. I like their aggression. We'll have to see how Mumu scales up. He's got to get tanky to be able to survive these fights, especially with Garen just spinning through everyone's face.
Yeah, Garen's going to be the big, huge bowler, the enforcer, if you will, for the Geek Squad team. It looks like he's coming in here in the wings, and I think Smite was used, wasn't it? Yeah,
it
it looks
was.
like
He's
Smite
got a
was
chance of
used.
this.
So now they got to be careful and not lose that there. And now Garen's going to get the ult. Maokai coming over after the fact. Ignite onto Garen. He's going to come in here, try to get enough damage. Should be able to get ult off. Is going to get the kill, but he's going to fall himself. Orianna might fall to this Ryze, who's doing serious work on it. Orianna's not going to be long for this world. She's going to go down, and Aurelia just going to have to back off out of this as Maokai and Ryze just too strong for her right now. And Ryze actually with a blue buff.
Really's got to watch out here. They're getting ready to tower dive her, and she's already getting low.
Yeah, and she actually doesn't really have any mana to fight this with skills, although we do see Misfortune pick up another kill onto Leona, and that last auto attack coming back in there. And again, nice aggression and pressure coming in from Geek Squad now. Kills evened up, but pulling a slight little gold lead off of this and now shoving a big, huge wave into this mid lane. It's going to hurt Orianna a little bit. It's going to cut into her lead that she was starting to build up there. Raya is starting to get pretty beefy, and that's a scary thought. I mean, Garen and Ryze are going to be a big factor. I mean, we do know that Amazon still has that really strong AoE team fight, and luckily their bottom is still going well for them even without needed help from the jungle. But, I mean, that's going to be two big problems to deal with as we get farther along in this game, if they're able to survive through that AoE team fight comp.
Yeah, quite a lead indeed down there. 70 on Ezreal, 101 on MF, and she went for that Brutalizer early to get through that small amount of armor he's got. So if you look at Ezreal, he's got 58 armor, so Brutalizer dropping him down about 10 armor, plus she probably has like 11 or so for Mastery. So anyway, he's down around 30 armor, and that ult is going to hit so hard. So he's got to keep that flash up or he's going to be dead.
Yeah, and with those Thresh hooks coming in, but it looks like First Dragon's going to be able to go down to Geek Squad because MF and Thresh did just back off, so I don't see them actually being able to defend this. Orianna and Mumu are definitely not going to be able to do it, so Garen actually just waiting in the wings, coming to mid just to mess around with Orianna. Orianna really doesn't have much to say to him or much to do to him.
Red team has slain a dragon.
And that's going to be First Dragon of the game going to Geek Squad. They're starting to creep out their lead.
But now, since Garen's been roaming, Irelia has gotten some free farm going. She's slowly catching back up. And her late game is a lot stronger than Garen's as far as taking out the carries. So look for that. He'll just shove out this lane every time, and she'll be sitting at her second tower, free farming. That's all she needs to do. And their late game AoE comp is going to catch back up. And I guarantee they'll at least have a shot at this one, getting back in by pressing R.
Yeah, I mean they're by no way out of this. I mean, Geek Squad just inching slightly ahead, but definitely that AoE team comp is still going to be a factor unless they can pull a really big advantage and get it to the point where they're so far ahead that they can tank through the AoE and not take too much damage. And big, huge push on this bomb turret. They're finally going to down it, but Ryze kind of coming in from the wings, but they have a lot of wards here. They actually do see him transferring over. So if they could kind of get in there possibly without them noticing, might have had something, but they saw him coming from a mile away. Turret went down right away, and now we're going to see them rotate through here, and we might see actually them shift some pressure onto mid. We see Garen very deep in the enemy jungle. He's like, I'm going to take everything. I'm going to take your land. I'm going to take your wolves. I mean, this is N-Ward style right here.
It's the best thing you can do. That's part of his lane now. And if Mumu wants to stop him, it's going to hurt the other team. I don't expect him to leave top ever if he can keep this up. There's no point. It's really effective up here.
Yeah, and actually always goofing off now on tower duty, guarding against a Maokai Leona, which isn't the scariest thing in the world. I mean, he can actually deal with this decently well. There's no ranged AD, and they're trying to push him down. And they're actually getting some good damage onto this mid turret. Ezreal actually backing up Ryze now at this point. And we see Garen rotating in, but they have so much wards in the jungle. There's so much vision coming in from Amazon. I really like this from them. Might see Orianna ult over the wall. Is going to suck him. And the Thresh grab. Will box come up? It is into the bullet time. And beautiful layering of that AoE comp right there, and Ryze is going to be picked up as well, so 2 for 1 right now. Ezreal Arcane shifting over the wall, but we see Twisted Advance initiating this off. Aurelia has to be careful here. She is very low. That's a double kill for Ezreal, and nice little turnaround there after the ults have been blown. Taking a few turret shots as Leona, but she is going to be able to survive through this, and Ezreal really going for this one. Nice damage coming in from Orianna there on his way out, and this is actually pretty close. Misses Pelennor, and oh, that is gonna give a kill. Just, you know, supports bodyguard dying for their AD carries. It's admirable.
Yeah, that's just Purple Side getting a little overzealous after picking up a couple kills. A little bit greedy. but they traded about even, so couldn't be too bad for him.
Yeah, Ezreal hanging around, but he's not gonna with that low of health. I mean, I was almost actually really scared at first because I saw Leona walking over, and all I was thinking was like the bouncing shot from Pelennor coming in and picking up a double kill. I was like, that's gonna be a really sad moment if like they basically set that up for Pelennor right there. Would be a happy birthday for Pelennor, but luckily that didn't happen. So just a nice little exchange right there. Amazon coming out a little bit ahead and being able to pick up a turret. So I guess definitely a good trade for Amazon right there. And really nice layering of ults, but they had to use all of it just to down Garen. And I mean, that's kind of showing his strength here. He's going to be able to carve through that AoE damage come on this late game. And there's going to have to, it might be almost be on Aurelia too to just be able to help keep him off the carries at this point when they do team up here, because he might be a little bit hard to deal with and just blow up right away. Oh, but that's a good pick right there. That's a lot of love. That's a lot of love for Rise right there.
Smart play there. Orianna is so... I love an Orianna pick. Just the movement speed by herself is so powerful for the team. And just press R and win. It's the best way to win games. If you're in an ELO and you're trying to gain ELO, pick ultimates that are AoE, and you will gain it.
Yeah, pretty much. And we do have some good AoE from coming in from Geek Squad, but it's not on the same level where it's just also CC as well as damage. And Kara just hanging over here, bird in the brush, and a nice little ward over there, spots him out, and he's like, dang it. And Amazon, I have to hand it to him, like, they've actually dealt with this Garen pretty well, because they know he dominated and took over the lane, but they haven't ever let up warding that top side to pay attention to where he is, and they haven't let him just get over a cheap rotation. But they are going to be able to take this mid turret on the back of Garen's tankiness, and Rise charging down the mid lane to team up with their team. We're going to see everybody Voltron up here and get ready for possibly a team fight, but it looks like actually splitting down bottom, and actually I think either bottom turret might be the next target for Geek Squad. We still have Dragon down for another minute, so actually they might set up for that. We'll see how these teams, if they both have the timers, what they decide to do here.
Purple already has the pink though, so they have the advantage right now. I think blue side's just sitting around waiting for their ults to come back up. They did blow a couple mid, so as soon as that move is coming up, Orianna's is almost up, and they'll be ready to team fight here in a moment.
Yep, just in time for this next dragon. That should be the next big objective. Fought over. We see Luna and Ezreal and Maokai actually grouping up pretty heavy in bottom lane, so I think they have a bottom turret on their mind, although they might just blow everything here to pick off Rise again is what it looks like it almost might be. Although already did blow the bandage toss and just clearing out this mid lane. But a lot of pressure, a lot of push coming from that bottom lane. Warding up, more warding up for Dragon. Nice little tucked in ward here in Dragon that's actually hiding from that pink ward. They're not able to see it and clear it yet at this point, so they're going to have vision there. Either way, shouldn't be cleared out, but just setting up all the wards, preparing for this, and actually 2 going top means, I mean, this is kind of ill-advised because Garen's not really the guy you want to go for in the top lane. He's too tanky. They actually have 4 people top, and right as Dragon spawns, so definitely, I guess they probably didn't know when Dragon went down. I'm not sure if they had it warded up, but definitely something they're going to want to pay attention to next time, because having that many resources top for a Garen that's not really gankable is not so great.
You gotta hand it to Purple here. They've been setting up their pinks and being ready to grab Dragon as soon as it spawns. So, and they got the last one, and that gold swing can really turn around a game. I'm liking their play and their teamwork. It seems like they're a little bit more cohesive.
Yeah, I have to say that is for sure. Like, when it comes to at least the buffs in this game, they've definitely had the advantage. And now always giving up in the middle of the enemy team, and the Lantern coming in to try to save him. But that's actually a really big pick-off. And if you're able to take off a big component of the enemy team like a Mumu, and that's huge.
Still, though, they have the AoE ults to stop a tower dive, and if they go in for this without Garen, they might be able to make something happen. Blue side.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. They're gonna have to have the fortitude to commit here, though, because Garen is split pushing and taking down that other turret. So if they try to respond to him, I don't know if they'll have enough. I mean, but it is kind of like go time where they need to decide, like, do we go for this mid lane or do we go deal with Garen? And now they're rotating over, and it's going to be too late. Thresh is going to be able to stop this, and Aurelia is actually going back to base.
Your team's turret has been destroyed.
Thresh actually just ran up and hooked the big fish and didn't want anything to do with it, and walked off and gave him a tower.
It's like, I'm here and be annoyed. I'm like a mean face. Grr. That's pretty much the best that he could do up
That's
there in
my
the top lane.
experience.
Yeah.
Playing support.
That's why it's good to be cow sometimes, because sometimes you can actually scare people. They're like, oh, it's CC if they're... And then they realize, like, oh, wait, it's just cow.
I don't like you. I'm going to headbutt you over this wall.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Ward's going to be going down, actually, Baron, it looks like, as Valsi's setting up here. Actually, warding over into Tribrush. It looks like it did make it in, so... Nice little ward over that side, and we'll see if they actually ward up more around this Baron buff. But they should, you know, since they did have a war there, we'll see if they actually have the timer on this next one, this next dragon coming up, and see if the Amazon learn from this and they'll be set up for the next one. Still, again, have that strong AoE comp, so if they're able to get a pitched fight against this Geek Squad team, could be lights out. We'll have to see. We'll have to see how this next engagement works out here. And what objective it finally fights over. And Rise gonna face check this one, eats the banish toss after the flash. Will he be able to get enough distance though? It looks like he is gonna be able to do it and actually have some backup here. And it looks like they might actually just collapse onto this top turret. Probably not gonna focus too much on this Garen.
You know, Moon's being smart there. He could have blown his ult there and maybe got one person, but I think he's waiting for the home run here. And it might prove to be a good play to hold on to that. He could have had an easy Rise kill, but...
Yeah, and this is kind of how you have to beat the AoE teams, too. It's like, you know they're so strong in a team fight. It's like, don't even get in a team fight with them. Just leave this Ezreal. They can leave this Ezreal split-pushing bottom all day long, and they're going to have to run someone down there. They don't have a teleport, but here's the engagement in there. Bullet time coming through, and the Orianna following it up. They have a lot of damage here, but they're still underneath turret. Rising out massive damage here. True Shot Barrage whiffs through, doesn't quite kill anybody, but they might be able to pick up the 4 kill here. And Garen running for his life right now, and Pelidor actually flashing past the turret to run this down, but Garen too quick. Is going to be able to get back, but I think Ezreal's going to be able to get another turret, and I think this is kind of a win for Geek Squad right now. Turret's over a few kills. I mean, they haven't even been able to take this top turret. Aurelia should be able to take it, and we see them going back now because they don't want to be able to lose their base turret at this point.
I'm really impressed with that Orianna's play. She just flashed and shielded to herself to get the kill right there. Excellent play. And picking up 2 turrets there, I think that's a good trade. Well,
yeah,
2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1. And they got some kills, so they traded kills. But I think overall, like Geek Squad, still they're getting the main objective they want. They've been very objective oriented through this game, and they're barely behind in kills so far. So doing a pretty good job. They've been able to kind of get around this AoE comp in some cases. Got that good pick off in mid the one time against Mumu. We're able to get some turrets out of it. Obviously, N-Word's still pretty much dominant there, doing what he wants.
Yes, he is. He's only going to get tankier, too.
Although a lot of his tankiness, too, right now is actually armor that he has actually stacked up. So a lot of the AoE damage that is going to come in from Orianna and Mumu isn't going to actually be blocked by a lot of the way he's building. But he does have so much health at this point with the Warmogs and the Sunfire Cape that's also going to mitigate some of the damage coming in. Does have 100 magic resist so far. But it's nothing compared to the 200 armor that he's rocking right now.
I'd like to note that Amumu, he didn't go for the early Sunfire. Instead, he picked up a Sight Ward to help get some more map control. Interesting. And Thresh has got a Ruby one as well, so they're going to have more free wards. I think he just needs to get a little bit more tankier, and he'll be solid. But as far as the teamfight's going right now, he might be alright.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting there. He's doing his job, as you like to say, with the Mumu getting there, press R, and then everything else is gravy.
Yeah, the goal as a Mumu is to get the enemy team to try and kill you. And as long as you can do enough damage that they see you as a threat, you're doing your job. And it's okay to die, because all you have to do is press R and run at them until you're done. That's why you have Irelia to clean everything up. He's almost like Karthus in a sense.
Yeah, so Dragon should be coming up here again pretty soon. And actually, it looked like the hook languished there, even though the Banshee Veil blocked. Didn't actually pull him in, but the hook was still on Rise. I wonder if he could have activated again to fly in. That would be kind of interesting. And they have that Dragon Timer down on Geek Squad.
I told you, their cohesion is just...
Oh, but this could be what they want. They might get the Dragon, but lose a lot here if Amazon is decisive, and Amumu waiting in, eating a lot of it. The bullet time is huge here, and it will go off and catch at least 3 people, and they're looking pretty good in this backline. So Aurelia is trying to take down There we go. We're going to get a 1 kill onto Rise, but Ezreal actually going to be able to clean her up finally. And now the rest of the team trying to wade in here. Misfortune, Orianna still up Rise, covering it on the back with that shackle. That hook just barely misses. Otherwise, they would have been able to seal that one up. Speeding up and shields coming in. This is so close. And Rise going to turn around and just give out his final last spells as he falls down. So Dragon picked up, Amazon comes up a kill, but Dragon picked up for Geek Squad. So good trade for them. And this bottom turret's actually getting pushed pretty heavily. And look at the warding around Dragon. This is the most warding I've seen from in an AHGL game that I've. I mean, I know wards are free now, but I mean this is like a polka dotted map right now, and I actually applaud these teams because a lot of times when I'm watching some of these teams play, I'm a little bit harping on them on the vision control, and like we haven't seen oracles or pink wards quite come in yet to clear out some of these wards and gain that total map vision, but at least they have the map vision and they're making plays based off that.
And Garen is just looking top and smiling at his work.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, look what I have wrought.
They've got bot pushed the same amount, so if they can just push those lanes and force it mid, they might be able to take that out as well. I don't think they should even worry about Baron, purple side, and just work on getting more towers, because they're going to lose the team fights the way this keeps going. Yeah,
again, it'll kind of be a scenario a little bit like the Dragon fight that just happened. The only thing is if Thresh is there and like not over a wall trying to hook his way into the team fight, and he's all there right away, there might be enough slow there. And once Aurelia gets even more tanky and unkillable, Ezreal's not going to be able to deal with her either. It's going to become a scenario where all those carries are going to die in the back line, and it could be even worse. And you see the chase potential, too, with Orianna using Dissonance to actually help run down the enemy team. Like, they have really good chase here. Oh, they're going to suck and Rise. They want this pick off, and I think they're going to be able to get it, and it looks like they will. Huge pick off right now, and it looks like a Mumu might wade in here, and Ezreal in a bad position eats a lot of bullet time, gets sucked in on. We see the Mummy ult onto Leona, and we see Amazon pressing hard here. They have bottom, at least looks like bottom lane is going to be pushing, and they should be able to get this turret. Garen and Leona, the only ones able to defend this. They have no range to poke back. A lot of ults burn there, but nice initiate from Amazon, catching Geek Squad sleeping a little bit right there.
Yeah, they're just playing dominoes right now. They're stacking them up and taking them one at a time. And oh, Garen.
Garen's going to get his girl right there, and Leona ult's going to cover him. It's like, this is what I think about your push. And actually, that's going to send Amazon packing.
This Garen is still up 60 CS. He's died a few times in these team fights, but just right there shows what he can do if he's fed.
Yeah, I told you, man. This Garen, this N-word's got some skills.
And he's going for an Omen, so he's going to be right in the middle, slowing everything.
Yeah, and actually being a really big... I mean, the thing is that Misfortune, like, when you have her as an AD, she's... I mean, a lot of her is, like, that ult layering it with the AoE team. So... Unlike some other, but I mean, either way, like if you're able to go in there and slow her attack speed and reduce her effectiveness, that's actually be really good for the rest of the team fight to come in there. So I mean, again, he's their big enforcer that's going to be diving in those backlines, disrupting all the AOE that they kind of want to go put in there. It's just a matter of, I think, Ezreal definitely has to make sure he doesn't get caught in any of that, and Rise can get caught in a little bit of it, but they can't actually just lose him straight up right away like how that fight started.
Yeah, if they're going to dodge one thing, it has to be that Amumu pull, because they're not getting away if he gets in there. They got too many alt layerings. But if you notice, Ezreal picked up that Iceborne Gauntlet, so they might be able to kite him long enough for these fights to work out. If Rise can lay down the pain, it's going to really hurt.
Yeah, Rise, I mean, he's starting to get tanky enough. Got that Warden's Mail as well, Banshee's Veil online. And yeah, I mean, he's getting to the point where he might be able to get through a lot of this AoE, especially if he's not just singled out right away, if he's just with the team. And they're getting beefy enough that I mean, that's the key. Just like if you are going to have to wade into the AoE ult, you just have to be able to get through the initial burst. And then after that, I mean, they have enough damage between Rise and Garen. And Ezreal especially is able to sit on the outside and kite, that they can win a team fight. So we'll see how this next engagement goes down. They're still missing Aurelia for Amazon, so they can't quite fully commit to this yet.
Home guard boots, here she comes.
Meow. I hope everybody makes that sound when they come out with home guard boots, because it should be mandatory.
I buy them anytime I'm losing. They're really
Oh,
strong.
Namumu's going in here, and he actually has a lot of targets. Bandage Toss is going to land. He's going to pop his ult, but it's on all the tanky members. We still see Rise and Ezreal outside the team fight, which is where they need to be. Garen in the back lines tearing up Misfortune right now, but Aurelia diving deep in there to try to take out more enemies, and Orianna needs to stay away from this. Oh, nice peel, actually, from Thresh right there. We see the flash in by always goofing off to try to catch Garen, but Garen's going to get away. And the kite, you know, the way that team fight worked, they weren't able to lock him down long enough. They were tanky enough to survive through it. Garen running through the jungle, playing his own little mini game, playing fugitive.
What we're seeing here is, well, it looks like it's about to be caught out by Aurelia here. She's got red buff. He's going nowhere.
Or is he? Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's a dead Garen.
Yeah, what I was trying to say was that neither of these teams are peeling very well for their AD carry. Garen just ran right in and spawned on top of Misfortune until she was dead, killed almost exclusively by Garen. And Aurelia spent the entire fight on top of Ezreal. But I think that Purple side came out ahead a little bit because they realized this as they were running away from AoE death, and then they kept Ezreal alive, and Garen killed Misfortune and almost survived, we saw. So peel for your AD carry is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, yeah, and I actually think, I mean, Orianna actually got a lot of help from Thresh. Thresh actually used his push correctly, pushed him away, and got him on the run there when he was low. So nicely done by Thresh, protecting his AD or his AP carry right there. But yeah, that's kind of the fight they wanted, because Amumu, when he ulted there, only caught the 3 tanky members, the people that would have wanted to get picked off. And True Shot Barrage going to come through. Going to be a little bit off time, but they are going to see that they are there and backing off out of it. Amumu still not up yet, but Geek Squad not going to engage on that. But Amazon picking off their first dragon of the game, and they still have that 1K lead. This game is very, very even at this point, 35 minutes in. So we still got a game on our hands, and we've seen the tools from both teams kind of coming out here, and we know that both sides can actually win a team fight. It's just a matter of positioning and execution, and we'll see how this goes out there. The wards are finally dissipating a little bit. We'll see them actually start to swarm around Baron, and Baron is going to be the one lit up like a Christmas tree.
Ezreal also just grabbed himself a last Whisper, so he's going to be able to take out Amumu just a little bit faster. And as much as people hate killing tanks and they think it's a waste of time, Amumu is one of those tanks you do want to kill.
Oh, yeah.
Even though that's his job, you got to take him out fast. And I like the early last Whisper pickup. You can get an Infinity Edge and a Zeal later, but I think now is the time to get that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not actually too against that. I think it's actually a pretty good idea. And also the other thing too is, like, Amumu takes % damage away from your team. Like, the longer he's around there crying all over you with salty tears, I mean, it's actually a bad thing beyond the fact that he ulted you and held you in place for 1 million AoE damage ults.
So look for that. I don't think he needs as much attack speed right now anyway, just because his Q is going to be the main source of damage. He'll be alright for a little while.
I actually missaw for a second. I looked down. I thought Amumu had the Trinity Force. I was like, when did he get that? Like,
I would love this. I would pay Amumu to get a Trinity Force. Sheen proc headbutts.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So we got our first Baron dance.
Yeah, nice little actually poke by Maokai. I mean, I like we saw it from Orianna earlier in the level 1, but definitely love these champions. This stage, they don't forget that they have, you know, all these mechanics to actually spot out their enemy, and they use it very, very consciously actually to make sure that they can make sure that their moves are safe and not actually just, like, you know, blind face checking a bush. And we did see the pink ward going in there, so I mean that was Amazon's ploy. They're like, hey, we're gonna throw a pink ward in here. They're not gonna see this. This is gonna be perfect. And Maokai was like, no. I face checked this before in League of Legends. Everybody has probably face checked that bush behind Baron at some point in their career.
Lose out of position, and Purple's just taking this one home. It's perfect play right now.
Oh yeah, I mean that is actually, and Amumu down. I mean that's kind of the theme of when things go wrong right now. And Bullet Time going to come in, going to land on a lot of members, but it's only going to get them to half health, and they've been able to pick off 2 members, 2 of the tanky members, but Ryan's getting way too deep. And now they're sent packing, because that was, ooh. I thought Geek Squad was looking good there, but that kind of gave Amazon a little bit of breathing room.
And you know, right now Rise is sitting on his computer saying, I said I was going in, guys. I said I was going in.
Uh-oh, and a Baron going down. Aurelia shouldn't be blue pilling, but she is. And now we're like, oh, we got to go for this. I don't think they're going to, no, they're not going to be able to do this fast enough. Orion's going to be able to get there at least in time, but Misfortune went bottom, which is why they called this. And we'll see the poke come in here. They should commit to this to try to stop and just get as much damage as possible. It is taking them a long time to get this Baron down. They need to not have cold feet here, but I think they're just going to go for the steal, which is not necessarily the best thing to do, and it looks like they're not going to be able to get massive damage. Aurelia cleaning up 1 kill, going to be able to get Garen as well, and Misfortune in here. If they clean up all these kills, it would be huge to get to down this Baron. Double kill for Aurelia, flash over the wall. Oh man, and this, like you were calling out, Patton is actually has had some sick plays. I mean, that one didn't actually end in a kill against Maokai, but still very, very strong there. Now they're actually just going to force down this turret. Creeps or not.
Excellent use of his inner intuition. That was a great blind Q. And he almost had him there. If he went for the flash, I think they would have dove on that tower and taken him out. So, well played.
Yeah, so that's actually really huge because they're able to mitigate. The only one that has Baron now is actually this Maokai. So they did get a lot of gold from it, which is going to give them a lot of items and actually chunk into the lead that Amazon was kind of building up there. But nice response from Amazon actually going in there. And they almost, I mean, if they would have stole the Baron there too, like that would have been catastrophic. But luckily for, they had the smite advantage and were able to lock up that Baron.
Maokai recently just picked up a Frozen Heart, so look for him to be puppy guarding that Ezreal.
Yeah, and actually Garen with Infinity Edge, so he's bringing the deeps now.
That sassy bastard.
The first time someone's ever been called probably a sassy bastard. But it is true. It's kind of like, I mean, that is kind of like that's the build right there. So they're called patented Kuniv's, or N-words, sassy bastard builds.
He should change his name to Sassy Bastard after this game, because he is my favorite player to watch this game.
Oh yeah, he's been doing some work. Again, nice dragon control as always from Geek Squad, getting that pink ward down, covered it up. Baron's not a factor too, so that'll actually be a good gold source for them to eat into this 2K lead. I mean, game is so close at this point, but the later we get, I mean, Ryze is going to become more and more potent. Ezreal is going to be harder and harder to catch. So unless it's another scenario like that where they have him kind of wounded and stacked up for him in a Baron pit, if Geek Squad plays this smart, they should be pretty elusive. And if they get all these lanes pushing too, I think they could maybe close this game out against this AoE team. We'll have to see how Amazon responds here and if they're able to get a catch and get a fight off that they want.
Yeah, what we haven't seen in the last couple fights is blue team actually landing their wombo combo. So if this happens right here.
And there's that Ice Gauntlet, but the Shirley comes in right after. It's just going to miss, and Mumu's going to be able to get in there and possibly get in there. And Aurelia in the backline already. Bullet time shredding, but they're all over MF at this point. And Aurelia's actually going to be eaten alive by Ryze and Ezreal, and now they're going to be able to come back in here and poke in here. Thresh very low as well, but Ryze in the middle of a 4-man beat team, and they were not able to actually ever take out MF. And those backlines and Ezreal's so low now, and I think Amazon's going to be able to take this turret, and it's going to be actually really big for them if they can get down this inhib as well, which they still have a lot of the members down for 30 seconds. Ryze down for 50, so it looks like they should be able to probably get this inhibitor.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Garen doing his best right here. Make as
not
many.
too much they can do right now.
Yeah. I mean, he can make all the race car sounds he wants, but they're not gonna back off out of that one.
And with that fight, blue just threw the whole game into their side of the map, and they're gonna be able to push this around, shove mid, and go for whatever lane they want, and take anything out of the jungle they please.
Yeah, I mean that's actually really huge. Like, you know, once the team takes that first inhibitor, their chances of winning the game actually skyrockets pretty much. And True Shot Barrage almost there. Smite too strong though.
Yeah, good try there. I saw it go off cooldown. I thought he might get that one. Close call. But still, despite all that blue just took, they're only up about 4,000 gold. So they could still win a fight, potentially. And then he will be down just a couple more minutes, and they might be able to turn it around. And look at that massive wave top.
Yeah, I mean, someone on Amazon has to be licking their lips right now and be like, money! And Aurelia's like, no, I gotta get this blue. It's too important.
Like I said, Garen is looking top and smiling.
Yeah. It's like, I did that. We see actually a little pressure in here, and we see Amazon spread out a little bit. Again, kind of the key to Geek Squad whenever they've had a little bit of success is to get a pick off here. Usually it's actually been a Mumu in some cases, which has been nice for them. But, I mean, now pushing against these super minions against this mid turret, I mean, this is kind of their response. But once they group up again, I mean, alts are all up for Amazon. I mean, this could be catastrophe for them. So they need to be very, very careful here.
They just got to peel a little bit better. Maokai's going in with Garen right now. I think they should just hold back and wait for all the ults to
Another
wear
Shirelli.
off.
They're going to try to rinse and repeat here. Banish Toss is just going to whiff. A nice little catch there, but they're moving into the jungle, which is not necessarily where they want to be. Alt's going to go off to kind of keep them away. Rai is actually dueling with Aurelia now. Aurelia decides she doesn't want to have any part of that. Rai is now going to the back lines to duel with the carries. We see a big chase going here. Aurelia is actually dealing with 3 members right now. That is huge. And Rise now, though, 1v3. Will he be able to win this? And Araya is actually going to be able to pick up Ezreal in this one, and she's going to win this. Maokai Leona, get out of here. They're not going to be able to deal with her. And we see this 3-man team kind of backing off here, but they need to start the press because they can close this one out if they really want to push this down. Multiple members down for 50 seconds. We see Aurelia is going to be able to ace this one out here after she waits for the cooldown. Leona just prolonging the inevitable right there.
And that is the reason they've been nerfing Aurelia for the year.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can go back a year and a half ago and look at what she was then, how many times she's been nerfed and how good she still is, it just goes to show that pick Aurelia and win late game.
Yeah, the funny thing is like 2 members kind of got like the memo here to come in on this, but I mean they don't have an MF here either. They still have multiple members down for 19 seconds. I mean, if MF had come as well, I mean, this game would be over. I mean, they're at the point where they can just attack the Nexus. People are down for 10 seconds still. If they just focus this down, they win. They don't even need her, but looks like they're going to get it just in time. So congratulations to Amazon winning this game. The AoE comp pulling through for them. Nice teamfight execution. But also props to Geek Squad because they actually showed us a lot of great teamwork in buff control. And on the early stages, I mean, they were neck and neck all the way through this game until those last 2 teamfights.
Yeah, they played a great game. And I think they picked some really good items for that, and they didn't mess that part up. They definitely had the buffs, and the wards were everywhere, so that was great. And I think it just came down to the team comp and late game. If they didn't win early, then they were bound to lose with the press R and win.
Yep. And I mean, yeah, I mean, I think the fact that too that the AoE comp was able to stay even, yeah, it was the saving grace there. Yeah, got to get pretty far ahead to blunt that. But yeah, again, I am Paddo. Thank you for joining me, Kuniv. It's glad to have you on the mic with me yet again.
No problem. It was a great time.